G'day, Straya. How are you going? How you going? Are you right? You should be. Why is that, Jim? Oh, well, it's Thursday, April 17, isn't it? Which means it's now Easter. Like, it's Good Friday tomorrow, and that just means, I don't know, we're all eating fish for some reason. But also, I don't know, chockies for the weekend, hanging out, not working, all the classic gear stuff. I am your host, James Clements. I'm here in Chateau de la Mode Studios, down in the beach house, down in Lawn. If you're watching on the YouTube, the background has changed. I am wearing an awesome throwback All-Star 2000 t-shirt, though. So anyway, we have a brutal pair of play-in wipeouts to talk about very briefly today. But mostly today, I just wanted to get my picks and predictions in for these playoff series, which is going to be chaos, and I cannot wait. So it's going to be pretty good. We've got the game wraps. We've got That's Not an iPhone, mate, no, mate. It's better than I, better than Lonzo Ball. We've got some yeah nahs. We've got some unpopular opinions today, and we've got a really fun Outback Takehouse. There's Australian Player Watch, but then we're going to pick and preview the two games. That's right, the remaining play-in games, the 8-seed games on Saturday, and then we're also going to talk about the playoff series as they land right now and our picks for each of them, which is going to be really fun. So, look, I'm doing this bare bones down here. We're just going to get into it. It's episode 1249 of NBA Australia. Oh, let's go!
G'day, this is Andrew Gaze, and you're listening and watching NBA Straya.
Watch out for the Shack Attack.
Oh, watch out for the Shack Attack. You better watch out for the Shack Attack if the Shack Attack is the attack of two giant blowouts on my expectations for some wildly whelming 9-10 games. I've actually got Shaq on this t-shirt, I think, this 2000 All-Star t-shirt. I love this t-shirt. It's awesome. Anyway, let's get into it with the daily whip around. We are going bare bones today. It's pretty fun. But the entire idea behind this 9-10 play-in game, it is wildly fitting that the two teams that were knocked out today are basically the two spiritual play-in teams, Chicago and Chicago West, i.e. Sacramento. Two teams that will be forever paired up because of the John Salmons trade. Also the Zach LaVine trade, but in my brain it's the John Salmons trade. Sacramento and Chicago just absolutely no-show today. We'll talk about that in a second. But it was kind of fitting, right? It's just like, hey, we got a play-in game at home, and we lost. Yeah, those two teams love that vibe. Anyway, outside of this, lots of scuttlebutt, lots of moving parts out there in the NBA. This is the very, very briefest amount of news today. Like the Suns are out there kicking the tires on some other coaches. I love that Mike Brown's name has come up again. That's great. That dude just keeps getting jobs. It's fantastic for him. Willie Green is obviously a big thing for the Suns, even though he's currently the Pelicans coach. Joe Dumas has come in there to the Pelicans and gone, we're changing maybe lots of things. We don't have to fire Willie, but we might. It's all chaos there. And obviously now the Kings, now that they're done, what do they do with Doug Christie? Who knows? Maybe Vlade can bring white chocolate back as well. Either way, there's lots going on in the West with a bunch of these weird squirrely teams that didn't make the playoffs. And there'll be plenty to talk about in the offseason. The other little bit of news before we get into the game wraps today, the Mavs, there's been even more fallout as to be expected from this, I don't know, giant clown car of a franchise where apparently Dirk is just now like, I don't want anything to do with these dudes. Here we go. And apparently Nico was asked, why not seek Dirk's input? Why not seek Cuban's input? And Nico's like, if they're not in the building, they don't know what's going on, and I don't want them to know, and I don't want to know what they think they don't know what they should know, which is amazing. Basically, Nico's like, I want him out. I don't want them to say anything because I guess Nico knew Kobe. Great job, everybody. Great job. Hey, let's do some very brief game wraps and get into the rest of this show. Miami, game wraps. Miami beat Chicago pretty handily, 109-90. And it never even really felt that close, did it? They took Chicago right out of their game, right from the get-go. And look, it's weird sort of watching this game and going, oh yes, Chicago are a confidence team. And Miami just straight up punched him in the mouth and went, "You've got no confidence." And Chicago's like, "Yes, sir. May I please have another?" They kind of got it going a little bit again in the third quarter, but Tyler Hero had a perfect first half. Quite literally, he didn't miss a shot. They were absolutely running roughshod over the top of them. The turnovers were killing Chicago. They had absolutely zero in transition, it felt like. I think they had 11 turnovers in that first half. Giddey was fine, but Kobe couldn't hit a shot. Vooch was just like, eh. And there's no defensive identity for this Chicago team to fall back on. They were targeting Giddey. He did a decent job at times, but at the same time, he was also getting scorched because he's 22 and not a natural defender. He's just got to get better. He will. He's 22, remember. But either way, they get stomped in the first and second quarters, put up a bit of a fight in that third quarter, and just couldn't keep it rolling because the defense, every time they'd eat into that Miami lead, the Bulls would hit a three. They'd come back the other way and just give Miami another open three. And you're like, oh, right, defense, the other side of the ball. And obviously, as I said on yesterday's show, right, Chicago's thing is playing with pace. You know what Miami did? Just went, cool, we're going to play faster than you. And we play defense. And Chicago went, oh, that's not fair. It was brutal. And yeah, this was just a laugher, basically. They could never eat into the Miami lead because they couldn't get any bloody stops. This is what happens when you give Patch Williams all the money and you go, hang on a second, our backcourt at the moment is Kobe White and Josh Giddey. Oh, God. And our center is Vooch. It was tough. Anyway, they shot under 40% from the field, did the Bulls. 11 turnovers in the first half, 17 overall. Kobe White, 17 and 5, but had 7 turnovers and shot 5 of 20. It was brutal. Giddey had 23, 10 and 4, only 3 turnovers, but was attacked relentlessly defensively. And I think battled pretty manfully considering he's injured. So great job by Giddey, I thought. Vooch was 16 and 12 and very underwhelming. Their big problem was like Buzelis, a rookie. You can't really crap on him. And Kevin Huerta, a.k.a. the Ginger Ninja, they just gave them so very little when they needed it. Like, there was nothing off the bench as well. Patch Williams, he's going to pop up again later. He was horrible. THT, he's dynamite. He gave him 9, but there's just nothing else there on that team. It's chaos. And I guess this is what happens when you turn Levine and DeMar DeRozan into, that's right, nothing. Great job, everybody there in Chicago. Miami, look, they looked ready. They looked prepared. And it also helps when Tyler Hero is just shooting flames out his goddamn ass. Seriously, at 38, didn't miss in the first half, 23, 3 and 3. He was absolutely amazing. He was just hitting everything. And they just had a really good game plan. They're like, we'll just keep moving the ball, attack Giddey, attack the weak links, and off they went. And they played solid defense. Davion Mitchell was amazing. He might have been the difference. He had 15 points, didn't miss a shot either. He was a plus 19 in 33 minutes. They win this by 19. I think Davion Mitchell won them this game. He was really good, but Wiggins was awesome. 20 points for him. Bam, he was solid. Hit a couple of shots when they needed them. Slow-Mo and Duncan Robinson, I'd like to have a beer with Duncan, were very solid off the bench. But wow, they just looked ready. They looked engaged. They knew how to play these sorts of games, and Miami just fucking curb stomped Chicago. So, yeah, pour one out for that Chicago Bulls season. Yet another play-in appearance, just repeat play-in offenders. I've got more thoughts about this, and we'll probably expound on them in the offseason, but wow, Chicago. Then the other game, Dallas just smashed Sacramento, 121-106. It was close to begin with, but we sort of nailed this when we talked about it on the in the video this morning and on yesterday's show, when it was like, oh yeah, hang on a second. Dallas is massive. They've got Najee Marshall, PJ Hamilton, Washington, AD, next to Lively and Clay, and they're just big. And it looked like, Sacramento was going to hang with them for a bit, and then boom, the second quarter happens. Clay doesn't miss. Seriously, had 16 points. He was going 4 of 4 from downtown. He was absolutely, it was chaos. It was 44 points in the second quarter, and the game was over. It was 23 points at the half. AD managed to almost sort of play himself into a bit of form at times. They ripped off that 20-6 run or whatever it was in the second quarter. And again, talk about confidence teams. Dallas, when they're up and about, look like they're pretty good. But there you go. You beat Sacramento. Congratulations. Defense wins championship, says Nico. So does Clay hitting a million bloody threes. Amazingly enough, Clay, it's a year to the day that the Warriors played, and Thompson misses every single shot that he takes. I think it was 0 of 10 in his final game as a Warrior. The same playing game against the Kings last year, but this time he hits a million shots and they win. So great job by them. The Kings, so many questions. I mean, it's hilarious that they and the Bulls get eliminated because they built the old Bulls team that kept getting eliminated in playing games, right? DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine. Great job. You recreated a shit Bulls team, Sacramento. Idiots. They had 18 turnovers, missed Malik Monk desperately. DeMar DeRozan had 33, but he took 28 shots. And you're like, what? Nah. Oh, come on, man. 20 for LaVine. He had 9 assists as well, but geez. That was another thing actually about Chicago and Sacramento. The lack of ball movement. And they just got fucking clamped. And then they panicked, and it all just fell apart. 11, 13, and 5 for the Souvlaki King, but he got absolutely smashed on defense by the big fellas there for Dallas. Keegan Murray. What happened to that dude? Seriously, the upward trajectory there. They bring in DeMar DeRozan. It feels like DeMar DeRozan just kills the upward trajectory of young players on teams time after time. Doesn't matter where he is. Toronto, San Antonio, Chicago, now Sacramento. It's like, hey, are you a wing who's playing with DeMar? Yeah, just kiss your fucking career goodbye because now you're shit. It's weird. Anyway, Devin Carter was good. 10 points for him and his hairline. The Mavs, they hit 14 to 28 from downtown. That'll help when you shoot 50% from three, usually. That's one of my cardinal rules. How good is it when people have rules? Yeah, I always say, no, you don't. Shut up, idiot. One of my rules is, no, it's not. Do you live by that one? Yeah. Or do you live by the rule shooting 50% from three is good? No shit, Sherlock. Anyway, AD was really good in the end, 27 and 9 with 3 blocks. Shot 9 and 23, but sort of got himself going. He got punched in the mouth literally a couple of times. Clay had 23 and 5 or 7 from deep. PJ, 17, 9 and 4. Really, really good PJ game, I thought. And then the bench, Spencer Dinwiddie got jumped in the rotation by Dante Sexum and Brandon Williams and Quapow. Dante was great, 11 and 6. Brandon Williams, 17 and 5, an absolute revelation. And the Mavs go on to they cruised to that win. It was like, that second half was wildly boring. I'm like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing here? Just like poking it with a stick. Do something. So, we're not going to play the drops or anything today. So, the NBA Australia approved performance of the night. Look, honorable mention to Clay. That second quarter won them the game. That's very good. That's a bloody knife. Like, the Kings brought a knife to a Clay Thompson bomb fight. He's just like, I'm just lobbing bombs like I'm Ja Morant. Bang! 16 points in that second quarter. 4 of 4 from downtown. It was amazing. But really, obviously, there goes my hero. Tyler Hero wins that game for the Heat by not missing. It was one of the great play-in performances. 38, 5 and 4. He ends up like what? He was perfect at the half. 23, 3 and 3. Free for free. And ends up like 11 to 17, shot the piss out of it. Every time Chicago threatened, he'd just go up the other end and go, oh yeah, check this out. Bang, another 3 on your head. He was unreal. Great game from our man. There goes my Tyler Hero. 3 of 7 from deep, 9 and 10 at the line. He had 7 turnovers, but it just felt like it didn't really matter when Chicago kept giving up the ball as well. Spud of the night. Kobe White and Patch Williams. It broke my heart. I love Kobe with the good hair. He shot 5 of 20 today. And like you watch Josh Giddey and you're like, yes, he's having a bit of a rough time on defense, but he's still holding his own offensively, right? Doing all the little dirty work, bits and bobs here and there that you need to do. And the rest of the Bulls couldn't hit a fucking shot. Kobe White, 5 of 20. And if he's not going to hit any shots and Vooch's just kind of like shrug, yeah, you're going to fucking lose the play-in game, Chicago. 7 turnovers, 3 of 12 from downtown. Brutal gear. And then, of course, Patch Williams. Just, what the fuck? I ask once more, what does this guy do? Bulls fans, I know that you hate Patch Williams, but he infuriates me. Like, every time I watch him, I'm like, he doesn't do shit. He played 15 of the most ineffectual minutes today. 0 of 2 from the floor, 2 rebounds, and as your old grandpa would have said, useless as tits on a bull. Absolutely, right there, Patch Williams. Old mate, no mates for today. That's going to go to Trae Young having a whinge about the Magic. which is funny. They're a very physical team, and I've had two teammates hurt this year in one game against them, so I got upset. There's a lot of plays and moments that guys want to be more physical to the point where it's not necessary basketball. Fucking shut up, Sook. It's a play-in game. You're the one, like the refs might not be calling shit, but it's no excuse to act like a fucking baby. I love it. I think we had Jesse B sent in a message yesterday. He's just going, Jim, what the hell was that from Trey? Just acting like a little baby. I'm like, 100%. As I said on yesterday's show, like if the squid, he's 2, squid number 2, the baby squid, if he acts like that and he's been a fucking, I'll tell you what, #dad Straya, these fucking, you know, when they call him the terrible twos, all that sort of, he's been the fucking terrible since he was 6 months old. He's just chaos. It's awesome. But it fucking sucks as well. Anyway, he's an absolute mad dog. And like what Trey was doing to the refs yesterday, that's just even, yeah. I'd be like, nah, time out, pal, time out. And that's what the refs did. So way to go, Trey. You're a grown-ass man. Is he? Pantsing of the night is going to go to Gafford on Suva. Like just fucking yammed one on him. That was very, very, very nice. And the bet of the Bronny James today, we're going to give that to Davion Mitchell, who again was just really bloody good. And ironically, because Sacramento were playing on the same day, they probably could have used a Davion Mitchell, who they gave away for nothing. But he was incredible. 5 of 5 from the floor, 2 of 2 from downtown, 15 points, a plus 19, as I said, in 33 minutes. Amazing gear. And then the other one was Brandon Williams, who was just gnarly, 17 and 5, an absolute revelation, as I said. He crushed it. They did great. They got a big win, did the Mavs, and away they went. So they are both better than Bronny James and Lonzo Ball and Ben Simmons. All right, there we go. Let's do some yeah-nahs. We'll take a break, come back, do yeah-nahs, Australian Player Watch, bunch of other stuff right after this.
This is Cam Glidden.
This is Anthony Drimmick.
This is Mitch McCarron.
This is Jason Kiddey.
This is Darryl McDonald.
Hey guys, this is Hugh Greenwood.
Yo, what's going on? This is Illy.
This is Mark Worthington, or commonly known as Wortho, and you're listening to NBA Australia.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
All right, time for some yeah-nahs. As we do when teams get eliminated, we just pose the yeah-nah. Chicago. Yeah-nah. I was feeling good about them, obviously. I don't feel as good about them now. Are they fixable? Yeah, nah, yes. I think they are fixable. I think Buzelis is a weapon. I think he, Giddey, Kobe, it just, if they hadn't given Patch Williams that giant fucking stupid contract, you'd feel a little bit better about it. But outside of that, like them completely fucking up the DeMar DeRozan and the Zach LaVine trades, or at least contracts with DeMar, and just going, oh, we don't need it, whatever. Getting nothing essentially in return for that sort of shit is so fucking boneheaded that it blows your mind. Like, and that's the sort of shit. It's like, yes, you nailed the Caruso trade at least. You get Giddey back and his numbers skyrocket after they get rid of LaVine. Great. But you also had a max contract player that you get fuck all back for, essentially. Like Zach Collins is over there. It's like awesome. Great. Like, it's just the pieces that they have on that team, it just sort of stinks. But I do still think that there's an upward trajectory that the Bulls could be on. If they have like one more dude, I feel like they should have moved on from Vooch a while ago as well. But it's sort of like I feel more optimistic about them because then you look at, that's right, the next one, Sacramento. Yeah, nah. Like, what the fuck is this team? It's a train wreck of a team. They stink. Trying to recreate that old Bulls team that was shithouse. What are you doing? And this is why I feel much more pessimistic about Sacramento, because they're stuck with shit players on big contracts. And that's bad. Right? That's just the worst place to be in the NBA. They're just in between and shit. They give away De'Aaron Fox for fucking nothing, for reasons that are just like, Oh, Mike Brown was gone and he felt sad, so we moved him. Okay. You get Levine in and it's like, it's not a like for like. What are we doing here? And remember how they traded Tyrese Halliburton, who fucking wanted to be in Sacramento because, De'Aaron Fox, we just love him. And then they give, like, what the fuck is going on there in Sacramento? Look, I got another thought about this in a second, but Jesus. Absolute clown show. Miami versus Atlanta for the 8 seed. Yeah, does this feel right? Yes, it kind of does. These two teams were both scuffling along all season in those sort of 6, 7, 8, seeds. It feels just bang on that we get a Southeastern Division matchup for the ages for the 8 seed. And I think Miami are going to fucking smash them. Dallas, Memphis. Does this feel right? Yeah, I mean, Memphis, it all so much hangs on Ja Morant's ankle, doesn't it? Because that looked like it fucking hurt. And we know that Memphis know how to play without Ja, but it gets a lot fucking tougher in a play-in situation against a team as big and as mean as Dallas. Like, you're not going to get 17 rebounds for Zach Edey as easily as he did against the Warriors, right? So, But it does feel like a pretty fun matchup. Both of them are actually pretty fun. So Saturday is going to be pretty awesome. Anyway, got some other good ones. Hazard P. Hey, Jim, few questions for you ranging all over the place. So let's get into it. Why is the billionaire LeBron James doing podcasts with Steve Nash? I kind of understood the JJ part because JJ was world leading, but the fact they've run it back confuses me. Yeah. It's like you could just do a TV show. Like, what are we doing here? It's weird. I kind of like it because Steve Nash is like a wildly intelligent basketball player, and obviously so is LeBron. And it's like, just give us a TV show, I guess. Anyway, Hazard P also added, are they delaying expansion specifically to allow LeBron to become an owner? It seems to be right for it, and it just ain't happening. Yeah, this is actually a great Outback Takehouse. That Adam Silver is like, oh, we can't expand yet. I just want to get LeBron to own the Las Vegas team. It's not a bad fucking call. Because it just seems like now that they've sold, like Boston has been sold for the $6 billion, you've locked in your fucking media rights, you've got guaranteed money for the next X amount of years. Go get some more money for Seattle and fucking Vegas. Let's do it. I just want my Sonics back. But yeah, maybe they are delaying it for LeBron. That's a great call, Hazard. What length would the season have to be for everyone to go hammer and tongs all the time? He asked. 50? 65? Would this ever happen? Yeah, nah, it's too, like, I think the ideal amount is play everybody twice and maybe your division teammates or your division foes like 3 times, 4 times to build up the rivalries, right? And I think that gets around between 68, 72 games, whatever it is. You end up with 32 teams after you expand. You play everyone twice. You get to 62 games because you can't play yourself. But then, yeah, you've division games. Everybody else, that's another, 4 teams in the division. Interesting. I don't know. I still reckon, 66 feels a little bit better. 72 feels a little bit more manageable than 82. You just take 10 games out of the schedule across the season. Quite literally just eliminate 10 back-to-backs. And I feel like everybody's a little bit happier. But yeah, for everyone to go hammer and tongs all the time and have a really limited time frame, it'd be around 50. Or just everyone plays everyone twice, and that's that. I think everyone would fucking care then. You know what I'm saying? And I think it'd be a lot easier to keep track of too, because it's like, they've only played Orlando once. This is the second one. Better make it count. That sort of shit, right? It's because it's like every time you see on a schedule like one of the East teams playing one of the West teams, it gets exciting. Anyway, I'll get into a couple of other ones from Hazard P next week, but he's got some good ones there. And MLG went in with the old, that 5-second call was BS. Yes, from yesterday for the Grizzlies. That was such a, the refs were so shit in that game that it was on both sides. They were kind of obviously leaning Warriors, but then to give a fucking wildly, wildly harsh 5-second call on the last possession of your game is fucking bizarre. But anyway, quick Outback Takehouse. It is Thursday at Outback, and you know what that means. Oh, yeah. 2 for 1 blooming onions. The bloody Silverstream trailer down here in Lorne sells them as well. I'm going to go down there and go, what the fuck are these things? I don't know what the fuck this is, and they're only at Outback. And also, the Silverstream trailer down there in Lorne. Anyway, today's Flame Girl take is the losers of the play-in tournaments should get to join the loser tournament. That's right. We should give all the losers a chance to play a knockout tournament in the week where the top seeds aren't playing. Give them an extra, couple of days rest before we get into the playoffs. We fit in the loser tournament where it's a single elimination knockout, and then that is how we decide the draft. Get rid of the lottery, piss that off. If you're not going to make it an actual lottery and make all the odds fucking flat, Adam Silver, give me a loser tournament knockout. The last team standing gets the number 1 pick. Only at Outback. Let's just make this fucking happen. It'd be so fucking fun. Get out of here. Right, Australian Player Watch is a very easy one because we had Josh Giddey, and he was awesome. He had the 23, 10, and 4, 9 of 21 shooting. Bit of a rough one. 2 of 7 from downtown with a block. No steals. But basically ends up finishing the season post All-Star, averaging almost a 22, 10, and 9 across the board. Was absolutely fantastic. Shot the piss out of in the rest of the season as well. And that's kind of the thing you come out of this season with Josh Giddey. You go, he improved dramatically. His shot started falling. Is it a half-season really hot streak? I don't think so. I think he's just been working on it, and it finally sort of clicked maybe. Fingers crossed. And he hopefully should get a massive, massive contract, which is one of the it was one of the has a P questions as well, which we'll get to in the off-season. But Dante played 19 minutes for the Mavs as well and was fantastic too. So he stays alive. We say goodbye to Josh, which sort of sucks. I would have loved to have seen a Josh versus Dyson showdown for the 8 seed, but here we are. 11 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists and a steal for Dante. 4 of 4 from the floor. 4 to the floor. 1 of 1 from downtown, rather. 1 of 1 from 3 and 2 of 2 at the line. Really, really good 19 minutes from Dante, putting it to the Kings. Great job by him. So we say farewell to Josh. He joins, Greeny, Duop, and Aussie Matty T in the Aussies no longer in contention for the title. Because we've got a bunch of them still hanging out there. Like if Dyson makes it through, if Dante makes it through, look out. We've got the vast majority of the Aussies still alive. Kiwi Korner, very quickly. I mean, Big Steven Adams has just been out there causing all sorts of havoc. That's just what he does. Let's see what Kiwi Korner has given us the last little bit of the season. This is literally, I'll just go, hang on a second, where's Steven Adams? Where's his stats? And he's awesome. And as I said the other day, he's like the dude you just want to get a beer with the most, because you'd end up, like, as I said, wrestling polar bears or some shit. Anyway, he played 17 minutes at the start of this week against Denver in that awesome game. He had 4 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist. Not bloody bad. And hadn't played for a week prior. But he still had 8 rebounds in that game prior to that and 12 the one before. He is a rebounding bloody pick-setting machine. I love me some Steven Adams. What about the Paddy Mills Game Day Ball, a Game Day Twitter check-in? Let's have a look and see what Paddy's been up to. He had a good one yesterday, didn't he? Paddy with the... There we go, more Paddy. Ivica Zubac. Pronounced Ivica Zubac. Number 1, NBA Defensive Player of the Year. Oh, that's nice of Paddy standing up for his mate. Paddy should also, though, be wearing a Dyson Daniels Defensive Player of the Year t-shirt. I'm just saying. Fair's fair. Back your boomer teammates, Paddy. What are we doing? All right. There you go. 2 shit games wrapped up. We've got, 2 more playing games remaining. And they are on Saturday. So we are not doing a show tomorrow for your Good Friday. Your mate Jim's going to take the day off. And to the point where I feel like on Saturday, we've got those 2 games. We've got a Miami and Atlanta game, and we've got the Dallas Memphis game. And then swing round to, I believe, Sunday, we've actually got the start of the playoffs. So we might have a look at some of those odds right now. But for the minute, let's start with Saturday's games. I'll just check to see that these haven't changed since I wrote them down. But Miami at Atlanta. for the 8 seed. It is a 1 point actual favorite spot here for the Atlanta Hawks, which I found a little bit interesting. Like, why would the Hawks be favorites? Just why? And I'm still a bit confused, but then you go, well, maybe Dyson Daniels just goes, right, fuck it. Tyler Hero's not going to score on me today. They went 2-2 in the regular season, these two teams. And you think about Atlanta's defense versus Miami's balance, and I just still can't get there. Because Trey on one side, I mean, Hero on the other, I'm going to go Miami. I just really, really, really sort of came out of that game today against the Bulls going, oh yes, Miami just know how to play in big moments still, don't they? Atlanta will be at home for this one. That probably helps. But at the same time, it's still a bit of a weird situation where they're just not very good. So I trust Miami a little bit more. I trust their coaching. I trust the personnel. Hero and Bam have been playing really, really well together. Let's go Miami. Then the second game, we've got Dallas at Memphis. And Dallas is 6.5 point underdogs. And after today's game, like, they haven't reeled me back in, but at the same time, I can exactly see how they're going to give Memphis just as many fits as they did Sacramento. Because the one thing about Memphis, you look at them and go, well, outside of Edey and Triple J, they're not very big. And Ja Morant nursing an ankle injury, I feel a little bit squirrely about that, I'll just tell you right now. So even if Ja doesn't play, you're like, okay, so now it's a lot more Scottie Pippen and Desmond Bane. And you feel like Miami's size is just going to give them fits. So I'm going to take Dallas plus 6.5. They might not win it, but I think this is a much closer game. Because if you think about, like, let's have a look at their prior matchups. Amazingly enough, the Grizzlies are like wild favorites. But Ja Morant just twisted the shit out of his ankle, and a couple of days later, that's not going to be healed. He might be able to play on it, but Jesus. The Grizzlies did win the series 3-1 against them this season, one of which was at the end of the year, and it didn't matter, right, when they played no one, that last day of the season. Outside of that, the games were pretty interesting, but I don't know. With the Mavs out there, with their size, I kind of like them against Memphis. I think that negates Memphis's like big Edey Triple J size factor, and I think they should be all right. So there you go. Right, but what about Sunday's first playoff games? That's right, the actual playoff games themselves. So on Sunday, we start off with the Bucks at the Pacers. And I'm going to do the series picks in a second as these all kick off. But the Bucks are 5.5 point underdogs against the Pacers. And in game one, I'd be very, very tempted to go Milwaukee plus 5.5 for Sunday's game, just because they, again, are a veteran team. They've sort of been there. They've done this before. The Pacers are really, really, really good, though. So 3 a.m. our Sunday. I'm going to take the Bucks plus 5.5 in that first game. I think Indy win it. Then we have Clippers Nuggets game one, which is awesome at 5:30 a.m. on Sunday. Geez, Easter Sunday is going to be rough for the Easter Bunny, I'll tell you what. The Nugs are 2.5 point favorites at home. And I'll get to this in a second, I don't mind the Nuggets in game one. Minus 2.5, I think I'll be taking the Nuggets. But wow. For the actual series, I'm just saying, I've got some other thoughts. I'll get to them in a second. Then at 8 a.m., we get to Detroit at the New York Knickerbockers of New York City. The Pistons are 7 point underdogs in New York. This is a team they beat 3 times this year. I'm just saying. They're not going to be afraid of anybody. I'm going to take the Pistons plus 7. The Knicks could still win this game, and I expect them to. But I think Detroit will just take them all the way down to the line. Let's go, Detroit. And then Sunday finishes off at 10:30 a.m. with the Minnesota Timberwolves at the LA Lakers. Your beauty. Luka versus Ant-Man. LeBron James is also on the Lakers. Remember that? The Lakers are 4 point favorites. I'm actually going to side with the Lakers, I think, in this one. It's going to be fascinating to see how that goes. And if we want to go all the way through to Monday, the Magic are 14-point underdogs against the Celtics. I'm going to take Orlando plus 14. Their defense is still brutal, but we'll see how... Well, yeah, they're brutally tough. The 14 is just probably a little bit too much. And then Golden State, Houston, game 1. The Warriors are 1-point underdogs in Houston. And I'll be taking Houston in that one. So, without further ado, those are those first game ones for the playoffs. How do we feel about the series? And what are my series picks and predictions? Let's do it. Number 1, in the East, Cleveland will take on either Atlanta or Miami. If they play Atlanta, it will be a sweep. With all due respect to Atlanta, Cleveland will absolutely kill them. Miami, I don't think it's going to be too much different either. I'll give Miami one game there. I think they beat them 4-1 if it's Miami. The Heat are pretty good. We saw them today. But Cleveland have so many options. They're so well balanced. Their defense is immense. The offense is fantastic. They will kill Miami. They will absolutely bloody decimate Atlanta. So, sweep Atlanta, 5 against Miami. Cleveland through. Celtics Orlando. The over-under in this one is 4.5. That's right. They expect the Celtics to sweep the Orlando Magic. Over-under, I'm going over because I think this goes 5. I think Boston beat Orlando 4-1. Orlando's defense is just so good, though, that there'll be one game where Boston's threes don't drop. Orlando get into it with them, and they sneak out a win. Boston, however, they'll probably win the rest of the games by a bunch. But I think Orlando's defense will try to drag them into the mud a bit. Boston, with the shooting, 3-point shooting variance, will probably hit a couple of games where they just doesn't matter and they kill them. But Orlando play them tough. We know that. We talked about this the other day. So I like Orlando at least to get 1. Boston 4-1 in the 2-7 matchup. Boston go through. We're going the over 4.5 though. For 3-6, Knicks Pistons, the over-under is 5.5. I'm going over. I think the Knicks win this one, but give me 6 games. 4-2 the Knicks. I think Detroit, look, it could also be what, look, I think it's either 6 or it's 4, right? I think the Pistons will be like, oh, we're young and full of gumption and stuff. And the Knicks go, that's cute, fuck you, bang. And you're like, oh yes, remember, young teams in their first big playoff spot tend to get fucking steamrolled. But at the same time, it's Cade and Duran, but outside of that, you've got Tobias Harris, you've got Tim Hardaway the Lesser, you've got Malik Beasley. These dudes have been around. I think it's Knicks 4-2, Knicks in 6. We're going over in that one. And then finally, Pacers Bucks. As I said, Bucks cover game 1. Indy win it. And I think Indy win this series. The over-under is 5.5. I'm going under because I think Indy absolutely fucking kill Milwaukee in a bunch of these other games. These two teams have played each other a million times. Indy at the moment are playing some of the best basketball in the NBA, and I don't think we're paying enough attention. They're really good, and I think they kill the Bucks. So I'm going to go Indy 4-1. So there's the East. Cavs either sweep Atlanta or 5 in Miami. Boston 4-1 over Orlando. Knicks 4-2 over the Pistons. Indy 4-1 against the Bucks. And we have a lot of questions about Giannis. Going out west, OKC versus either Memphis or Dallas. If it's Memphis, I think weirdly enough, it's pretty hard. But I think they end up solving them very quickly and it's 4-1. But a couple of those games are super close. OKC pull it out though. If they play Dallas, I think it gets a bit tougher just because of Dallas's size, especially on the perimeter and in the middle, of course. And you're going to go against them with like Chet. AD is going to be like, barbecue chicken, baby, let's go. Derek Lively, Dan Gafford. I still think OKC roll them, but it's 4-2. Right? So there we go. Houston, Golden State. Over-under is 5.5. I am going over. I think this is Houston in 7. I love this series, but I think Houston also, there's so much youth and depth on their side that they sort of just get to a point with Golden State where they maybe just go, hey, remember how we've got Amen Thompson and Tari Eason, and you guys have got Steph Curry and old ass Steph Curry, old ass Jimmy Butler. We've just got a lot of big wings to throw at your dudes. We're sorry, but we're going to beat you in the end. And that's my favorite vibe. The over-under is 5.5. We're going to definitely go the over in that because I think this just goes at least 6. if not 7. Awesome series. 3-6, Lakers, Minnesota. The over-under is 5.5. I'm going to go the under. I think Minnesota is going to have a lot of trouble trying to slow down this Lakers team. Why is that, Jim? Well, remember how Luka fucking killed the Wolves last year? Now he's on the Lakers and he's got Austin Reeves, LeBron James, and like a bevy of pretty handy-ish kind of role players around him. And Minnesota has Ant-Man and Julius Randle, and they've still got Gobert. They don't have Cat anymore. If Dante DiVincenzo is awesome, maybe, but I think the Lakers fucking kill him. So we're going the under in the 5.5 and going Lakers 4-1. I just think that sounds neat, and I just think that's what's going to happen. Luka, I think he's Minnesota's kryptonite because the Lakers also can just go, look, Ant-Man's over there. We've got fucking size everywhere, though, to combat like Julius Randle and co. Who's going to beat us? Rudy Gobert? The Stifle Tower? A sink not air. And then finally, 4-5. Denver versus the Clippers. Over-under for this one is over 5.5 in a heartbeat. And that the price for the over on that is like terrifyingly low because everyone thinks this is going the distance. I have the Clippers in 6. I think Denver wins game 1. And everyone's like, how did we ever doubt Nikola Jokic? And then the Clippers win game 2. And away we go. And I think the Clippers win this in 6. So we're going Clippers 4-2. So in the West, my predictions are OKC over Memphis. If it's Memphis, 4-1. If it's Dallas, 4-2. The Memphis series would be close, but it would still be only 5 games. Houston, Golden State, Houston 4-3. Lakers, Minnesota, Lakers 4-1. And Denver, Clippers 4-2. And there you go. Remember, you can follow all the picks over at Dabble, of course. Plenty of same gamers and lots of fun stuff. You can follow and track all the picks. Use the code NBA Straya. Sign up with the link in the show description or on the socials. The link in the bio right there as well. Go check that out. But yeah, having a good old time. It's very fun. Help support the show if you can. Do appreciate it. If that's not your thing, it's all good. I still love you guts. But that's it. We will not be back tomorrow. There is no show for Good Friday. Depending on what happens in the Saturday games, we probably won't do a Saturday show either. We might just end up doing one on Sunday night, wrapping up the first round of games in the playoffs. So that's Sunday, and then setting up for the Monday games, of which we'll only find out, the 1-8 matchups, obviously, after the Saturday game. So it feels like we'll just do Sunday night. Yes, Jim will be working on Easter Sunday. Might be a few tins deep as well, just saying, but it'll be all right. So that'll be fun. But the Sunday slate is massive from 3 a.m. onwards. It's going to be chaos. I can't wait. So either way. Make sure you're following NBA Australia on Twitter, Facey, IG, TikTok, and YouTube. Get around all the socials. Always smashing stuff. NFL Australia, get around that with me and Gaz. And chuck us a rating review on your Apple Podcast, your Spotify, YouTubes, whatever app you use on your Android phone. Just any sort of like rating, review, star system, whatever you can do. I do appreciate it. Any way you can help out your mate Jim. Big thanks always go to From Oslo for the intro and outro song. They rule, so do House Hats, Joshua Delarantis, Fascinated Gold Mines, Ramshackle Army, Iowa, Sector Green, and Dozers. They're behind all the tunes you hear on the show. Smash them on Apple Music, Spotify, if you listen to your tunes. NBA Australia supports Australian bands. All right, with Easter coming up, we'll finish off with the cooking with Bainesy, I reckon, on the end of this one. And we will catch you not tomorrow. Enjoy your Good Friday, eating your fish, sinking your beers, watching the footy. It's going to be good. Enjoy your Saturday when we get the 1-8 match, the 8-seeded matchups. You've got our picks there. What are we going? It was Miami and Dallas at the line. See what happens, but either way. And then that Sunday slate, it's going to be unreal. We'll see you after that. All right. This is NBA Australia saying, look after yourselves, would you? And later, hoser!
Cooking with Beansy is filmed in front of a live studio audience. And now it's time for Cooking with Beansy with your host, Aaron Bangers Baines. Yeah, g'day. It's Cooking with Bainesy and I'm your host, Aaron Bangers Bainesy. Yep, that's right. Just here in this here episode, gonna whip up a nice, delish dish for you. You know what we're gonna do this week? Oh, g'day, Cheryl. Look at you over there. It always leaves in your mind. Anyway, we're gonna whip up one of my absolute Aussie favourites that you can have whenever. It is the classic Bangers scrambled eggs on toast. That's right, bloody scrambled eggs on toast. That's right, I love me some scrambled eggs on toast, and I'll tell you what, it is easy peasy, mate. Definitely helps keep up this physique, you know what I mean? Protein, baby. Yeah, look at you. All right, so it's bloody simple, mate. All you gotta do is go down to your soupy, load up on a thing of eggs, get a dozen of them. Don't be a coward, don't get 6, get a dozen. Now get the free-range ones. Don't be a prick and get those ones that are from Cage Chooks. That's a no-no. Now, make sure you got some butter, maybe a bit of milk, bit of salt and pepper. And now, don't be a coward. Get some chilies. Maybe grab some spring onions as well. Then get over to your bakery. Say g'day to Steve the baker. G'day, Steve. How are you, mate? Yeah, there you go. Now, grab a thingo of their fancy sourdough. Don't fuck around with shit bread, mate. This will blow your mind. Trust me. Righto. Now, you put your cooker on your medium, you get your fry pan or your saucepan, whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter, mate. Grease her up with some butter. Now bang eggs in there. Yeah, that's right. Just flat out crack them straight in there. Now, some nongs do something different with it and whisk it all up in a bowl beforehand and mix in some fucking mixed herbs and all this shit. Don't bother. Do your whisking as they cook. So that's what you do. You crack the eggs in there, stir them up. Take it off the hood a couple of times. There you go. There you go. Yep, just let her settle. Stir her around, stir her around. Bit of your milk. There you go. Look, oh, that looks bloody delicious, doesn't it? Now, pop your toast in. Slice up your bread. Pop your toast in. Big, thick slices. There you go. Now, just sit back. Grab a tin. Oh, brekkie tins. How good is this? Now, chop up your chili and your spring onions. Make sure your eggs are looking nice and moist, but not too moist, mind you. And throw them on the eggs. Bang in some salt and pepper on there. Grab your toast, butter her up. There you go. Missus will love that. Turn off the heat in your eggs, then you bang them on. And I'll tell you what, Bob's your fucking uncle. Because that, my friends, is an absolute bloody ripper of a brekkie, a lunch, or even a bloody dinner. It's Bangers scrambled eggs, that's right. It's just bloody delicious, mate. And it'll dead set impress the Sheilas, don't you worry about that. You know, got a big night of banging ahead of you, behind you, whatever. Cook up this and they'll never leave your side. That's right. And if you want to get fancy, well, a bit fancy-pantsy, oh, look at this, look at me. Add a side of avo. Add a side of bacon or smoked salmon even. Maybe even some little baby tomatoes. And that will taste fucking unreal. Trust me. Oh, yeah. All right, so how easy is that? Get stuck in, do it at home yourselves, and you'll absolutely bloody well love it. All right, there you go. Tune in to NBA Straya next time for a new recipe, and we'll see you then on the next episode of Cooking with Bainesy.